So rock bottom. Rock bottom sucks. And I don't think that anybody's rock bottom is worse than anybody else's. I think it's all relative to the person. But if you're rock bottom, I want you to listen up. Okay? Maybe you've been trying, feeling like you're going in circles over and over again. You're looking around, you're comparing yourself against other people, and you can't figure out why their lives seem to be improving and your life seems to be staying where it's at or getting worse. I've been there. And everybody's rock bottom looks different. My rock bottom looked like being alone in an apartment, gun to my head, and my hands full of tears. Obviously, I didn't end it that night. But I was sitting in so much pain, I wanted to. And I'll tell you guys something. If you're at rock bottom, I tell you good. Because rock bottom was the only place that ever could have turned me around. You know, I think that one of the things that stops a person from improving themselves and actually getting on the track that they want in life is that they never truly go to rock bottom. And so if you're at rock bottom, I say good. I've been talking to a few of you guys, you know, in the comments on YouTube. Some of you guys DM me on Instagram. And I can tell many of you guys are searching for inspiration. You're searching for hope. You're searching for answers. And you know deep down inside that you're capable of more. You know deep down inside there's hope for you. You know deep down inside that your life can go the direction that you want. I'm telling you, I'm sitting here across the camera from you guys telling you that it can. Okay? Life will beat the shit out of you. And life was doing that to me. I went through multiple deployments. I never really addressed the personal issues that I was going through in my life. I never addressed the stress that I was going through from multiple deployments. And I never addressed the failures that I experienced overseas as well. During this time, I was away from my wife for 2 years. Okay, did a deployment, I came back, I went to a school, I went on another deployment. So I ended up being away from her for about 2 years. And during that 2-year time period, I built myself into somebody that is motherfucking unstoppable. And that's what I wanted to tell you guys today. Is that if you're at rock bottom, the best next thing that can happen to you is that you turn it all around and you become somebody that's fucking unstoppable. You see, what happened to me was that I went overseas and I had accomplished my dream job, right, in the Ranger Regiment, and I came back, and there were some guys that had gotten hurt underneath my leadership from that deployment, and I took massive ownership, massive responsibility, and I had to leave the organization after we got back from that deployment because I had to go on to my military school. So here I was, the organization that I worked so hard for. I spent 9 years pouring myself in, like building myself up to get into the regiment. 9 years of grinding my face off. And I got there, I had the dream job, and I loved every second of it. And when I walked away from my last Ranger mission, man, it was a mission gone south. We went in to go do this capture kill mission. And we had a barricaded shooter. And the whole op went nasty. Multiple friendly casualties. There's a guy dropping grenades down on top of us. One of the team leaders loses an eye. Squad leaders, team leaders getting shrapnel to the legs. Platoon sergeant, shrapnel to his legs. Medics start treating him. He gets knocked out while they're treating him. knocked out from medication. We think we lost him. We think he died in combat. They bring him back. He's alive, but then we have to evacuate. We spent hours in a gunfight that night. And when we got back from that deployment, I had to leave the regiment, the place that I love so much. And it was just the nature of the machine, the nature of the organization. But because I was going through such a hard time, I had a victim mentality. And I felt like I was abandoned. I felt like I was disowned. I felt like I left and nobody gave a shit. And it was my pain to carry forward. All I really wanted was somebody to really help me out, help me kind of get through it. But that put me on a track. I ended up, like I said, running from my problems at first from that deployment, all the other stuff that had going on in my life, like multiple other deployments, some relationship issues, which I'm not going to go into here. But you guys have all been through rock bottom. And eventually one night, I decided to turn it all around, because that's the only option you have when you're at rock bottom. And I turned it around and I made a commitment. I said that I was going to get on track and I was going to become better. I was going to learn from my mistakes. I was going to learn from my failures. And I was going to work on me. And for the first time, I made a commitment to stop drinking. And I struggled with it for a little while. But after some time, I quit. My last drink was February 15th, 2018. Haven't had a drink of alcohol since. And one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. But what ended up happening when I hit that rock bottom, I reflected on my life and I realized that life wasn't going the way that I wanted. I wasn't successful outside the military. I was alone in an apartment. My wife was on the other side of the country. I was failing as a leader. My dream job was gone. And I was just in a puddle of tears in my hands. And I realized in that moment that if I wanted to be successful, if I wanted a happy, good life, that I needed to try differently. See, up until this point, I had been working on being an entrepreneur and being in business for quite some time. I had done 3-4 other different businesses, and they lasted a little bit and then fizzled out, and they stopped doing them. Couldn't figure out why I wasn't a successful entrepreneur outside of the military. While I was on active duty, I was trying to become one, And if you guys can relate to this, you ever sit down and wonder, why am I not successful in this thing that I'm chasing? Why am I not successful in this area of life that I'm after? Why am I not happy and fulfilled and excited inside? Why is it only when I'm got a little buzz that I'm happy, or when I'm chasing the next accolade that I'm happy? Why is that? Why am I not happy when I sit with me? Well, I found out that the real reason I wasn't happy was because of me. You see, I hadn't, up to this point, I hadn't worked hard enough on myself. I had subtracted all the things that were making me miserable. Drinking too much was making me miserable. A lot of people look for happiness in the places that destroy their happiness. Eating too much, eating shit food, drinking. Fuck, you even say sometimes you think that lying is going to make you happy. Let me just lie and tell this fib. But that makes you feel like shit too. And so what ended up happening is during this 2-year time period, I was confronted with myself. I was alone. And I went to work on myself. Took away the alcohol. Got focused on goals. Got focused on making myself better. Started reading and studying. That led me to a mentor. That mentor helped me with my life. He guided me and he helped me become successful in business. He helped me become successful with relationships. I have world-class relationships today. I was just at a gym, one of the best gyms in the entire planet, training with top-level fighters. Guys that you guys see in the UFC. Training right alongside these guys, man. I'm still a newbie in there. Maybe I'm not training right with them, but I see them in there. Point is, I have these relationships, though. I have this connection with God. I have this relationship with my wife now that I have a living situation that I love. Living in Florida, I love it out here. The only way I was able to acquire the things that I have, the relationships, the relationship with God, is I had to hit rock bottom and teach myself how to pull myself out. I had to teach myself how to become better. You see, you guys, when you see somebody successful, understand that the things don't make them successful. They became successful with themselves, and then they got the things. Okay? And that's my message for you guys today. Rock bottom is a place where you can learn a lot about yourself. Rock bottom can tell you exactly how you need to improve. And what I learned was that success is subtractive. If you want to really grow in life, you have to cut the dead weight from your life, and that's the excess, that's the alcohol. You have to cut, if it is tearing you up, you have to cut alcohol, man. Whatever your conscience is telling you to get rid of, you got to cut that shit. If you're lying, fabricating, cutting corners, all of that stuff is just making you go in circles in your life, and you will never be successful. You will never feel successful unless you subtract the shit that is holding you down. When I subtracted the drinking, the party lifestyle, when I subtracted exaggerating, fabricating, when I subtracted not having a relationship with God, when I subtracted not telling the full truth to my wife, when I subtracted all of that, and I just chased the pure version of me, my next steps to get better and better started improving themselves. I found myself to a mentor, and he guided me. One of my mentors was trained in person by Zig Ziglar. Pretty cool. He trained with Zig Ziglar. Zig coached him every single week for almost 18 months, almost 2 years. He passed all Zig's teachings down to me. The best thing that he taught my mentor was that you can get everything you want in life if you just help enough people get what they want. So after I got myself right, the world started becoming right. I started seeing the world more positively, and then I started helping others, and that made me feel really good. That led me to doing content like this for you guys. I feel free when I'm doing this stuff. I feel so good helping others, showing them the way. And so I'm telling you, if you want more success, you want to get out of rock bottom, you make yourself better, and the path will illuminate as you walk it. You'll find your next steps by making you better, but you have to subtract the things that are holding you back. Love you guys. That's today's video. And looking forward to connecting with more of you guys on Instagram and here in the comment section. Conquer all.